You know I love intercourse as much as the next guy, but I've always wondered, how can I make it better? Well, the easy answer? Clankers.
Freedom is the sovereign right of every American. Tactical assessment.
Robots have been a staple of the Fallout series for many years, becoming some of the most varied and interesting enemies to fight. From humans who have turned into robots, or to robots who think they're human, this has all led me to one question. Which robot in Fallout is the most crackable? Now, before the video starts, I just want to let you all know that I'm taking the robots directly from the list of robots in the Fallout fandom wiki. I'm also only really going to be talking about staples in the Fallout franchise and potentially group some things together, like automated turrets. Also, I won't be covering most of the fucking Fallout 76 skins as well. Named robots won't be included either, so no Victor, no Fisto, or whoever else. Now for what the criteria is for this list. And you might also be wondering, Noodle God, how do you measure how crackable a robot is? Testing. Lots of testing. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. You don't want to imagine how much calamine lotion I had to coat my ass in just to receive the pain of dozens of metal rods entering and leaving in one day. All jokes aside though, I'll be basing this list off the following. Their physical appearance, because, well, what did you expect? Gross fetish material, only if it's applicable, and their personality, because yes, I'm one of those, my fellow feminists. Okay, look, script writing is hard. I'm talking about fucking robots. Just turn your brain off, grab some popcorn, and subscribe. Just so you know, I take great sexual pleasure in placing the indexers and sentry intrusion countermeasures in last place. Now, at first glance, you almost certainly don't know what the fuck I mean when I say indexers and sentry intrusion countermeasures, so let me clue you in. These are the stupid bug things from Far Harbor. Now, completely ignoring the fact that they're like robot bugs, they're not in last place because of that, but rather, being part of the single worst quest to ever come out of Fallout. Like, not even Prime 76 or Brotherhood of Steel could compare. And if you include the fact that they're just bugs, then it really doesn't look better for them. This one isn't sexual, it's just generational trauma. Now, I just want to get one thing out of the way regarding this next entry. I have no problems with people who have intercourse with brains. I've developed a more open mind as of late, as you'll see later in this list. The think tank. The think tanks? I don't know how to rationalize them. They're just a bunch of floating brains in jars connected to monitors. Unrelated, but they're all sick fucks like in last video, and that's the main reason why they're this low. Now, I'm no bigot, whether it be Dala using your body and fetishizing your organs, Klein bossing you around, feeding into my dominatrix kink, or Boris being mentally, physically, and sexually abusive, and whatever the rest of them do. You aren't leaving the big empty unviolated, which sucks too because their bodies, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, they have potential. I mean, they used to be human, making them simply superior to these clankers. But I think the gross fetish material makes up for it. Just, you aren't the one with the fetish this time. So yeah, the think tanks don't seem like the most fun to crack, mainly because there's 5 of them. But there's potential. So yeah, this is a dog, and yeah, it's not in last place. Okay, so like, I'm not a furry or a freak, I'm just weighing my options. It's between this, which I'm not going to describe or imagine, and I hope you don't either, or the think tanks. Realistically though, the little bug things are out of the equation because I don't like them. And honestly, it sounds a little weird, but I'd unfortunately pick the cyber dogs. I'm not gonna really elaborate any further on this because my mom watches these videos, so I'm gonna move on. A drone. Yes, a literal drone. That is what my career has come to. I'm talking about fucking drones in a video game. It's not even a good game, it's 76. If it was like fucking drones in Nubby's Number Factory, then I wouldn't be as big a disappointment. Anyways, these drones don't really provide too much purpose. Rather than replacing my adolescent son and bringing me beer, and my overworked fiance struggling through art school bringing me sandwiches while I am lost in the sauce. Okay, wait. These things are fucking huge. I see potential. Okay, so they pick me up, and fly me around. Now that can't be replaced by my overworked family, so that checks the fetish slot. Not gonna specify which one because it's just a small drop in a large ocean of freakiness. The looks for this entry have potential too. Maybe a little eyeshadow and a BBL and then we're in business. That's all it really takes for me, ladies. Take notes. And the personality slot is irrelevant because it's a dirty machine. Worse, a dirty machine in Fallout 76. Alright. Gaping hole? Check. Physical form? Check. 12 beers deep? Check. Yeah, I'm cracking the turrets from Fallout. Now, this is indiscriminate, it's every turret in the franchise, and the difference couldn't be less impactful. Some of them shoot bullets, some of them shoot lasers, all of them fucking despise melee builds, so fuck you skilled players. Yeah, I'm mostly just stalling, because how the fuck am I supposed to talk about having intercourse with a literal nub? Like, yeah, it's different when I do it because I'm the noodle god. It's on brand. But turrets are just the textbook definition of being middle of the road. Like, yeah, they shoot, but I'm the top. I always shoot first. These turrets aren't really here because they're particularly good at cracking, but rather because everything before it really isn't. I'm literally only putting this next entry this high because of my channel's rich and disturbing history of talking about intercourse with brains. Like, yeah, the Robobrain is chopped as fuck, but looks literally don't matter sometimes. Besides, the Robobrain has some other desirable qualities. First of all, it's thick as fuck. If you want a girl with an hourglass figure, forget about that. Invest in Robobrains. Like, they got an actual hourglass figure, and those busty tracks, oh my lord. The gross fetish material potential is also off the charts. At least, if you're not me. Because there's just so many options. With all that being said though, the Robobrain still wouldn't be that high if I was racist. This one is low-key just up here to satisfy my very small, freaky demographic. Probably our most cute and kawaii entry yet. We have the Eyebot. Now, these little guys are fucking omnipotent, I swear. I see them everywhere. When I close my eyes, turn off my bedroom lights, take off my pants, there's an Eyebot there. And for good reason, because these guys are they're just homies. In terms of appearance, I've honestly seen worse. There's potential here. Throw it on a thick Latina and we're in business. So they aren't terrible in terms of looks. Certainly higher than everything earlier on this list. And the personality doesn't matter yet because, again, robots. Don't even know why I made that rule. However, Eyebots do fall slightly short in the fetish department because, like, they're so wholesome. Look at them. I almost don't feel like a failure talking about cracking them. Almost. The one good part is that Eyebots make up for their wholesomeness with being able to play music on the go. So yes, you can listen to Noodle God farts in your mouth ASMR coming this fall while you do it. This may just be the first and last time I discuss Fallout tactics on this channel, but it has robots and the Behemoth is one of them. Now, first impressions aside, damn, it's thick as fuck! And y'all know I like them big. And this one is that. And the gross fetish material is also off the charts as well. Because, I mean, it's on all fours, and those long-ass guns are probably capable of something. This thing should be much higher realistically, but in spite of recent events, I've had issues with people I'm sexually interested in going in all fours, so I wouldn't crack, unfortunately. However, game recognizes game. Now, the Protectron is a staple of Fallout, and gay follow along with it. They have some of the most arousing and entertaining characters of the franchise. Prim Slim, Deputy Weld, and who could forget Fisto? But they don't really count since this is more of a history lesson. The Protectrons are a staple of Fallout, like I said, and for good reason. Starting off with their bodies, the Protectron is short, stubby, kinda built like those OnlyFans midgets that have been blowing up lately. They easily put every other entry before them to shame, and I haven't really mentioned this up until now because it's mostly been just irrelevant, but Protectrons are actually capable of human speech. So there's that. More personality than most of the list already, though. leaving only their fetish material, which is passable at best. They can solder you, they can make you blind, but who can't do that? My final takeaway is that there's Protectron prostitutes. Could the same be said about fucking Robobrains? Hold on. I can explain. So, I know this looks like a helicopter, and believe me, it is, but she's also a woman, which overshadows all of the other flaws. Now, you may be wondering, Noodle God, what the fuck? But I know what I'm capable of, and so should you. This thing has potential, and what is the one core principle of being a scientist? Experimenting. Ideally, sexually. So, let's give her a chance, shall we? Now, the looks, stunning. Most girls these days barely have one rotor, but this one, 2 pristine rotors that could slice diamonds. No girl pre-plastic surgery these days is capable of that, so she's all natural. So the looks are stunning, and the personality, well, once you get to know her, it's fantastic. There's nothing that comes close. And most importantly, she gives great head. So there's personality. And fetish material? Well, it's a fucking helicopter. Do you want that in paper? You want to know why they call the Mr. Handy a Mr. Handy? Well, I wondered that same thing when I was a different man. So, I slipped him $50 and well, the rest was history. My worldview changed. You see, dear viewer, you don't get the name Mr. Handy for nothing, so that's bonus points. Anyways, the Mr. Handy isn't the most attractive robot. It, quite frankly, looks fucking hideous. The one caveat is that Mr. Handy looks like he was designed to pleasure. So you'd think Mr. Handy should be a top 3, right? Wrong. He's a British person. This might seem a little weird at first, which is probably what you thought about every entry so far, not gonna lie, but it's the Securitron, baby. These guys are awesome. Physically, they aren't anything special, and you probably guessed it, robots. But what's worse than a robot? A robot with merely a 9mm machine gun and some change. But with a little bit of divine intervention, also known as playing New Vegas, they have the capability to possess M235 missile launchers, making them infinitely more breedable. Look it up. They also have screens that act as their faces. Now, these screens can play anything. Any sick, twisted fantasy you can imagine. You can even put me on the screen, so I can watch. In terms of personalities, they vary. You've got your yes-mans, but you've also got your Hectors. So, you need to keep that in mind as well. I mean, there's a reason Mr. House has 2 Securitron sex slaves. He clearly knows something we don't. Okay, so I really don't want to count this, but unfortunately it's a robot in Fallout, but it just feels like cheating, you know? But I guess I gotta do it, you know, for the content. So this one is really good, right? Well, yeah, stupid. It can be anything. A jack of all trades. Whatever your taste is, wherever it lies. As long as it's made of metal, you can have it. This realistically should be in first place, right? Well, yeah, but that's lame. And also incredibly expensive. It's like marrying a real person. If you put enough money and or BBLs into them, then they'll be the most attractive man or woman in the world. Same logic applies here. Also, just keep in mind what this entry implies. Think of all the people who have gooned to their automatron creation. At least one, not including me, so that kind of brings it down as well. The man himself, Big Daddy Prime, just the GOAT. Liberty fucking Prime. Is, well, wishful thinking in bed, because, well, do I need to elaborate? Whenever I think about cracking Liberty Prime, which I do often, I always imagine that one train gif from South Park, so there's that. And apart from the obvious size difference, Liberty Prime is a fairly handsome robot. He's got a crazy V-taper, so you know he's built. And in a shocking turn of events, Liberty Prime also has a personality. Kind of. No, not really. It's mostly just him spouting the same 3 lines about hating communism, but hey, better than the fucking Vertibot. Liberty Prime also gets bonus points for just being cool as fuck. He seems like a top 3 pick in theory, but he's just a little too red-pilled for my liking. Okay, I know this really doesn't count, but like, come on, synth sex mod? I bring it up so often, I'll be damned if I don't ever get to talk about that mod on this channel. So basically, synths are humans, but they aren't really, so they count. Hop off. Synths in terms of appearance aren't usually horrifying, unless they're chopped, and as for their personality, despite being humans, they suffer from being in Fallout 4, so their personality is considerably weaker compared to the rest of the list. Basically in this segment, just consider, how much do you like human intercourse, because that's all this is. The most robot thing about it is feeling the synth component on the inside, but even then, I don't even know where that would be, because you kind of just like pull it out of their hypothetical asshole in-game. It's really hard to place synths on this list because, like, it could be Curie, but it could also be art. So I think balancing it slightly closer to the top is fair, because Fallout 4 has a lot of baddies, what can I say? So from here on out, consider every entry I talk about better than human intercourse. Are y'all really surprised? I mean, it was literally in the thumbnail. You'd be stupid to assume anything less than a top 5 pick. JK, love you. Subscribe. So, why is the Assaultron just so crackable? Well, it's simple really. It's just very well crackable. It's not that deep, man. Just look at it. There's sex toys less entertaining to use than this thing. It also has more features than the rest of the list combined. It has everything you need for a fun, PG-13, family-friendly experience. It has hydraulic legs that could break world records, a sword, claws, a giant fucking nuclear laser that could put Godzilla to shame. Oh, and who could forget the fucking Nagasaki bomb up its ass. Before people get mad, this one and the Assaultron are ultimately interchangeable. I only personally rank the Sentry Bot higher because, well, BBWs are the future. Invest now. Sentry Bots are some of the most attractive robots out there. I mean, look at Ironsides or Bessie. There's not much I can really say to justify my take except, well, they're thick. However, despite being double stacked, they have some other quality of life features. Unlike most girls these days, Sentry Bots are nuclear powered, which is nice to have, especially now. They also have a rotating torso for some fun, and to top it all off, a missile launcher. Yeah, putting this thing up against real women is overkill in every possible way. If you have a getting crushed to death kink like me, then the Sentry Bot is probably for you. Yeah, I know. I broke my own rule, but it's Festus. You wouldn't break the rules for old Festus. And it's not like the other ones, like Victor, where I would have to do a Victor and a Securitron. Festus is his own thing, for better or for worse. Now, do I even need to describe why Festus is hot as fuck? Like, he could split mountains with that jawline. If looks maxers weren't corny as fuck, he would be one of them. So, his physicality is already peak. I mean, he even has a booth to hide you in while you give him back shots. And unlike every other character, Festus has voice lines. And well over 100 at that. In fact, the Latin term for the word Festus literally means joyous, which is coincidentally how I feel when I'm getting back shots from Festus. So, at the end of the day, he's an animatronic. So, it wouldn't be a stretch to say he gets a little quirky at night. Well, chat, that about does it for which Clanker in Fallout is the most crackable. This one's a little bit longer because I gotta get those watch time numbers up. So, if you liked the video or learned something, then please subscribe. Oh yeah, I didn't mention this in the last video because it was a much more serious and tense video, but since we're back to the old style, check out the Noodle God Discord server. It's pretty cool. Rumor has it that I show up in it twice a year, so you wouldn't want to miss that. The link is in the description, and that's enough talking for today. God bless the Enclave. God bless America. Noodle God signing off.